watching News 12 live at 5 continues.
Well, happening now live at 5, the Atlanta Braves are giving fans a taste of what they can expect this weekend. Our sports team is live at Truist Park, and we'll have the latest coming up in just a few minutes. And Riley, we have some beautiful weather for some baseball this evening.
Absolutely. Temperatures across the entire Southeast this weekend in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. Happening now live at 5, the Major League Baseball playoffs are underway.
And right now, the Atlanta Braves are hosting open practices ahead of the National League Division Series this weekend.
Our News 12 sports team is live in Truist Park. Dan and Alyssa, what's happening right now? How's the energy out there?
Meredith and Will, Truist Park is the place to be on this beautiful Tuesday night because, as you mentioned, the Braves are hoping their first of 3 open practices before they start the NLDS this weekend, and the energy is infectious. You can see the lines were going on for days outside in the Battery just to get in here, and fans are settling in along the lower rim of the stadium right now, and it's just so much fun seeing the energy and just feeling the atmosphere here.
I just took a quick lap around the lower concourse here, and I've heard 2 different descriptions of this: fun and chill. I think the chill probably came from the younger kids who are on their fall break. They actually get to come here and watch some practice, which doesn't really get to happen in any other professional sport. So this is really a chance for them to experience the first ever of something happening right before their eyes. And also, they get to see it from a different perspective because a lot of them usually sit up on the top, and now they're able to go really up close and see their favorite players. A lot of them saying that they're wanting Ronald Acuna Jr. to win that MVP award.
You know, and this is fan service at its finest. Like Alyssa mentioned, everybody's going down to the lower level, much closer vantage point to see these players who, many of whom are having historic seasons and rewriting the Braves record books. Needless to say, whether it's the home runs, the RBIs, the stolen bases from Ronald Acuna Jr., as Alyssa mentioned too, is probably going to win MVP in the National League. The list goes on of everything that this Braves team has done this year. And just to give you a little bit of a better look at what's going on down the field, the Braves have a bit of a scrimmage going on right now. They're playing with 2 of their teams, and it's 2 teams going at it to be able to.
Well, what we've actually seen today is that the Gwinnett Stripers have actually made the trip here, and we've actually seen some of those Green Jackets players that cross through our part of town, and now eventually will try to make it for the Braves. So we had Nick Clarno, who's down in the corner. He's waiting his turn. We saw Vaughn Grissom up to bat not too long ago, and then we've seen those guys that actually passed through. Spencer Strider's also supposed to make an appearance on the mound maybe later on, but a lot of those fans just really eager to see some of those guys make their way up through the Braves pipeline and maybe hopefully see them in the World Series later on if they make it through that divisional round.
And as Alyssa mentioned, this is a really cool opportunity because fans don't usually get the chance to see everything that the Braves are trying to accomplish this year. This team had an opportunity to really do some damage last year after having a 100-win season, and they're back again for another 100-win season, trying to get back to where they were and winning the NL East division title for the 6th year in a row, second 100-win season as their own. I mentioned 2 legitimate MVP candidates and former Green Jacket Spencer Strider getting the opportunity to potentially win the Cy Young. This is a special season for the Braves, and these fans are getting the chance to soak that in every single step of the way and really enjoy this opportunity they have tonight.
Well, we'll hear from some of those fans coming up right at 6 o'clock.
And just a great experience for a lot of these fans. A lot of people hoping that the Braves can get back to another World Series.
Yep, thanks, guys. It is official. The Augusta Riverwalk will be renamed after former Augusta Mayor Ed McIntyre. Now, there was some controversy over whether the Riverwalk should be renamed. McIntyre was Augusta's first black mayor, but he was also convicted of extortion. The decision went through multiple committees before commissioners voted 6-3 to rename it. The commission also approved the renaming of 2 other locations. Diamond Lakes will be renamed for another former commissioner, Andrew Cheek, and the Utilities Building will be renamed after former director Tom Wiedmeyer. And tomorrow, Augusta Commission members will tour the Charles B. Webster Jail. This comes after the topic of conditions within the jail have been addressed during several commission meetings. We'll continue following this and, of course, let you know what happens during that tour.
October marks National Pedestrian Safety Month, and data shows this is no small subject. Last year, an estimated 7,500 pedestrians were killed, the highest number since 1981. To give you a better idea of how that translates locally, let's take a look at some county statistics. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety has a breakdown of deadly crashes by county. This is all data from 2017 through 2021. Since 2017, Richmond County has seen 35 pedestrian deaths. For Columbia County, there's been 4 pedestrian deaths in that 5-year period, and in Burke County, there's only been 1 death. Some of the things that you can do to protect yourself include only crossing at crosswalks and walking on sidewalks versus in the road. And as a driver, stay vigilant when driving at night. That's when many of these pedestrian accidents occur. The Georgia Department of Transportation says it's seen fewer pedestrian deaths so far this year than in 2022.
Back to the basics. Today, a mix of concerned voters and nonprofits came to the state capitol, election integrity groups, to push the state to bring back paper ballots.
Advocates for the change say electronic voting is ripe for manipulation. Advocasource has the story.
People pushing paper ballots left frustrated from the Board of Elections meeting here today. They wanted to make it clear they wanted to unplug the machines and use paper ballots in 2024.
The fact that Coweta County election workers should have checked the Board of Registers before allowing Mrs. Watson to vote.
Violations report heard before the state's election committee, including signature irregularities, felony voting, and vote buying, bringing back a new push to change the way Georgia runs their elections.
People aren't going to vote. They know their vote doesn't count. They're ticked off.
Candace Taylor, 1st District Chair of the Georgia GOP and former gubernatorial candidate, is part of one of the vote integrity groups who say they can't trust Georgia's election results and the people who run them.
We absolutely cannot trust electronic voting. We have to go back to paper. We have to count it with our neighbors, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and Libertarians.
This comes after attempts to discredit Georgia's 2020 election results. On the other side of this issue, voter protection volunteers like Lauren Waits, who feel the paper ballot pushers are Republicans upset with election results.
I don't think our state should return to a Luddite society.
Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger has defended the system as being secure and battle-tested, and that other measures are in place to protect the system during the 2024 election cycle.
But I understand their genuine worries, and I hope that their coming down to this meeting will help them relax a little bit.
Nearly a dozen violation cases were heard here today, each investigated in their individual counties. Some were dismissed, others were handed to the Attorney General. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasouris.
Well, tonight Thompson is celebrating National Night Out. This is an event meant to connect communities with local law enforcement to build bonds and create an understanding. Tonight from 6 to 8, there will be entertainment, inflatables, free food, and even a fire truck for the kids. This will be at the walking track in Deering.
Hundreds are killed every year in high-speed chases. Next, a federal report recommends new police rules.
And we do look to stay with the dry weather pattern over the next 7 days, but temperatures are going to be dropping later into the weekend. We'll have that full forecast next. Time and past this weekend, early Monday and Tuesday next week, right down to the 40s and highs in the 70s.
All right, thanks, Riley. Thousands of people have died in police pursuits in the last 2 decades, some of them innocent bystanders. Now a new report released by the U.S. Department of Justice says many of those high-speed police chases should not happen.
Our national investigative reporter Andy Parati digs into high-speed stakes.
83-10-1 in traffic pursuit.
The dangerous consequences of high-speed police pursuits. From this Wisconsin case that left a 16-year-old dead.
Crash, we need that alcohol.
To this pursuit in Ohio that killed 2 innocent bystanders.
Oh, he just crashed.
And this case involving Georgia State Patrol in 2021. Before it ended here, it started on Hunter's Mill Drive in Paulding County, Georgia. Driver Charlie Moore pulled over on the side of the road, concerned why Highway Patrol was following close behind. Trooper David Peterson asked for his driver's license. Moore refused.
I'm not doing it.
Minutes later, 2 county deputies arrived on the scene. Officers break his window, more than takes off. Records show Trooper Peterson's speed tops 95 miles per hour, passing 2 deputy patrol cars on a narrow 2-lane road to reach Moore's vehicle before knocking him off the road using a pit maneuver.
Pit successful.
Moore and his son survived, but someone in the back seat did not. 12-year-old Leadon Boykins, a 7th grader who loved to play basketball. His mother, Tony, learned about the crash from a neighbor.
I hung up the phone and I just instantly knew. I called my husband like something bad has happened.
Tony blames the trooper for her son's death for engaging in an unnecessary, dangerous pursuit, knowing Moore was not accused of a violent crime before the chase.
There was no need for a chase. There was no need for a chase.
A new report published by the U.S. Department of Justice agrees. Among the report's recommendations, pursuits should only take place when a violent crime has been committed or when the suspect poses an imminent threat to commit another violent crime. Georgia has no such policies. Chuck Wexler is the executive director of the Police Executive Research Forum, which produced the report on behalf of the agency.
It's not as though we're saying don't ever pursue, but we're saying if you're going to pursue, make sure that it is for the right reasons. The real important question in all of this is it worth it? Is it worth endangering that person who you're pursuing, the police officer who's pursuing them, and that third party?
A call to action as deadly police pursuits are on the rise in the U.S. According to the Department of Transportation, at least a 41% increase, killing 8,200 people over the past 2 decades. If you could have an opportunity to speak with this trooper, what would you say?
Tell me the reason why my son isn't here today. A 12-year-old kid is dead behind the decision you made to do a pit maneuver on a car. A violent pit maneuver.
Annie Parati on your side.
Now, according to Trooper Peterson's personnel file, he did not face any disciplinary action for that pursuit. Attorneys for Boykin's family filed a federal lawsuit against the Georgia Department of Public Safety in September.
That case is still pending. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, the I-Team will show you how the Richmond County Sheriff's Office is responding to deadly police pursuits. Earlier this year, I uncovered new details about how a local mother of 2 was killed in a deadly police pursuit. We'll hear how the Sheriff's Office is working to make some changes to their policy.
What happens if you forget your Facebook password and you don't have the email or the phone number you signed up with? The answer is not good anymore. I'm Jamie Tucker. That story's coming up.
Better when you call my dad.
We all forget our passwords from time to time, but for Facebook, getting back into your account without your password just got a lot more difficult.
Well, there used to be a way to have friends or family help you get your account back, but that feature just got discontinued. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains things aren't looking good if you're locked out of your account.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
I'll have a friend ask you to either help them move or paint a house or help them get back into a Facebook account because they forgot their password. Choose one of the first options because Facebook is making it a lot more difficult to get back into your Facebook account if you forget your password. Millions of people who first got on Facebook a decade ago no longer have access to the email address they first used to sign up. For example, if you get a new computer, even if you're logged into Facebook on your phone, you can't see or change the Facebook password without entering the old password. It's impossible if you've forgotten it. Facebook requires sending a code to the phone number, email address, or WhatsApp number it has on file. My mother changed her phone number a year ago and no longer has access to the old Hotmail account she used to sign up for a Facebook account. So what does she do? Well, not much anymore. Well, Facebook had a feature called Trusted Contacts that I've recommended over and over again for just this sort of situation. It allowed a friend to get the leak and share it with you. But Facebook rather quietly discontinued Trusted Contacts, leaving Facebook users just 3 options: the old email address, old phone number, or WhatsApp. That left my mom no other option but to start a new Facebook account, losing all of her photos, her posts, and friends lists. It's a cautionary tale to remember your Facebook password. Write it down if you need to, because you might not be able to change or recover your password if you don't know it. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
All right, thanks for those tips, Jamie. If you got a tea time out there tomorrow, looking beautiful. Early tea times, maybe a little bit cool and dewy in the 50s, but afternoon looks great with highs in the 80s. Now look at that forecast for you just after the break.
Cracks in your brick with 641-2900.
Being the Augusta guy means that you're getting myself and my staff, which was raised on the same values that fellow Augustans were raised on. All of us grew up here. If you are hiring somebody from out of town, they may not be as connected as us. I guarantee you that we are going to work extremely hard for you. You're getting somebody who's going to shoot you straight and tell you the pros and cons of your case, and also take the case as far as it needs to go to get what people deserve.
If your house is beginning to jet.
All right, welcome back, folks. Live look over our Thurman Dam Cam. A beautiful afternoon to be on the lake. A light northeast wind, generally blue skies, but just a little bit of haze still sticking around out there. Even up at the lake, they are seeing temperatures in the 80s right now, and that east wind staying steady around 8 miles an hour, 5 to 10 for most spots out there this afternoon. Now, for tomorrow, looks just as nice. We're going to see morning temps most likely waking up in the upper 50s around sunrise. Temps are in the mid-70s around lunchtime, and then eventually later tomorrow afternoon, should be able to see those highs back into the 80s for us. Our high temps don't really look to change too much over the next couple of days, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will stay most likely in the mid to low 80s. By this weekend, though, that's when the cool down is heading our way. We'll likely stay in the upper 70s for highs Saturday, but Sunday is when you're really going to start noticing that much nicer feeling air. So that's 70 degrees for a high with abundant sunshine throughout the day, so definitely a little taste of fall for us. Now, next couple of days, we'll just call it seasonal, waking up near 60 Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit warmer Friday morning. But then as we extend out this 7-day forecast, how about that? 40s to wake up to early Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday heading into next week.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.